Let's try to make a meaningful journal entry. Alright. Working hard on the hill. Broke me down for like a week. Finally it's starting to feel a bit better and I can grip my axe a lot better. But all this exercise, I was walking to the grocery store and noticed my eyes were wider open than normal. I could not find anything I wanted for dinner tonight, though. So I got some chicken from yesterday that I didn't cook. And I don't know. It might be too windy to grill it. I might just saute it or something. I got, whatever, Botoni. Pasta's really cheap right now, so I should probably buy some more of that before it goes off sale. But I was walking, I was like, I noticed my eyes were a little wider. This is how I look. I look fucking weird, right? This is my natural, comfortable eyes. I remember in elementary school, it was the fifth grade, and I don't specifically remember why this old lady was harassing me at the school. She was overly religious, and it was a deeply rooted Catholic town. And so it kind of pissed them off that we practice science. And I think she just, like, because I wasn't applying myself enough, I think is what it was, or something. She goes, we'll open your eyes to. And I was like, this is as far as I can open my eyes. My friend has really squinty eyes too. That took her literally. It didn't take me until a long time to realize she was like threatening me and trying to like scare me straight or something. Like, I just don't like attention. Like when I took placement tests, that's when I actually tried because I thought that was something cool to do because it was more challenging. And I scored almost the state record. I was like 2 points away from the state record. And you know, I didn't like attention, and every time and I did well in school, I got way too much attention, so I would sabotage my grades, and I found it more fun to calculate just as enough as I needed to pass, and so that was always something I just trolled them with doing that for like 12 years, not 12 years, more like 7 years, but it's just what that is anyway. Nothing weird really happened today except I was watching the elk and there's a fenced off area down the hill. And part of it is just a big open fenced area, but it's open in one section. And then you have a lake and a big open prairie section and another fenced off section and the elk are over there. And I was driving to town and I looked and I was like, there's gonna get elk stuck in there. I guarantee fucking to you. Right on the way back, guess what? 4 elk were stuck, looking at the herd, marching back and forth, starting to panic, trying to figure out how they can get back to their lady friends. And uh, some people like and it's a weird fence too. It's like 10 feet tall and netted. Like somebody's gonna go into that little area and do what? People that try to like own land and shit, I get it that you need to, like in Nebraska, people are really adamant about trespassing. It used to be fucking crazy, like they would just shoot you and shit. But like you at the same, but we're in Colorado, so like we have all this wildlife and it doesn't benefit nature to fence off locations that the deer and elk can't jump over the fences. Most of the fences from the old families, like the ranchers up the hill, and a lot of the older areas, especially up here in these mountains, like there's no fences, and you can't fence it off because you need the wildlife. If something happens, like you have that to survive on, and that's part of living in the mountains. Like that, you get these other people that come, and they're like, I got a bunch of money, I'm gonna own everything. This is mine. Just bad people. Because this is like legit survivalist type living. This isn't just, money and luxury. And my eyes are just really weird right now. Ooh, finally getting some sleep. Migraine's gone, finally. Had a really bad one 2 nights ago. The worst one I've had in a long time. I think it was yesterday. I should record it next time I do it. So, the way because I've always watched the bulls and how they control the herd and the cows. And so, to help prevent accidents, like these animals are way smarter than people give them credit for. They don't really know how intelligent they are. Like I've seen deer literally wait for the walking symbol at a crosswalk. Not even joking. Turned red. I just saw him there, standing there politely. So it is the middle of the night. Normally I would just, stop and then go because I believe that red lights should all function as stop signs too at a certain point after you designate that it's safe to go. And for some reason, they don't have flashing lights in Colorado. Like, past a certain hour, they're supposed to. But anyway, I stopped and I was curious. Lo and behold, the walk sign showed up, and those deer walked right across the crosswalk. Like they're freaking people. So smart they are. So you have to train them. And in the city, in the town, this isn't technically a city. In the town, it's people stop for them, and this is a tourist town, so that kind of the elk like to walk around the streets, and I love the elk. Don't get me wrong, and it's really funny to watch a herd in the middle, and there's a traffic jam, but at the same time, if we don't train them, the issue isn't in town where the accidents happen. It's on the highways in the mountains that where like you can die. And so you're gonna come around a turn, you're going really fast, and I've seen the accidents. It's nasty, nasty stuff. And you can literally die, your whole family can die, and there's no cell service. There's no way to call for help, and it's pretty bad. And so what I do, they're really smart out on this highway. I noticed that one of the cows was only walking on the shoulder. She wouldn't walk in the middle of the road, and they haven't been crossing. So I think they know that cars are faster here, but up on like 36 is where a really bad accident did happen. And luckily the people were okay, but it was nasty. Like you don't want to hit a fucking 600-pound monster of an elk that you're going 50 miles an hour. You know. So anyway, next time I think I'll try to record a video and show what I do. But so if they're past like the center of a lane, aim towards their butt. Do it slow enough. They won't turn around. They'll run forward. And this is how the bulls train the cows and herd the cows. And so they aim towards the butts, and if they want to redirect the females, then they aim towards the head. And so if they're standing on the shoulder and you see one starting to walk, especially in front of you, if you are moving, aim towards their head a little bit, ever so slightly. And I drive a Jeep, so I can bounce it around on its polar moment of inertia. And it really can, I can transition like that. And so I was doing that, and I had to redirect 3 or 4, I can't remember. But this lady in the car starts yelling at me, "What are you doing?" And I just look at her and I'm like, you have to get them off the road or else they cause accidents. And I wanted to say more, but I also wanted to just leave and get back to town. And a lot of people learn through seeing and doing. And so when you do this, because 2 of them wanted to walk in front of me, right in front of me. So I aimed at them twice, and they startle off, and they learn, and then they stick with the other cows. and they learn from too watching their other cows, and you'll see the deer training the their their offspring. They actually will train them. It's really interesting, and the deer is so smart up here. Though I'm sad the herd's much smaller than it used to be, and the reason why I know they're so smart is because not only I've seen them walk, wait for the crosswalk. When I was living at the other cabin, there was a pack because the elk and deer would all come around that area. It was awesome, and they frequented it. But I always I wave at them or I use hand signals, and so I waved at the deer, and it looked at me visibly shocked, turned around and wagged its tail at me. So they're smart, man. That's a true story. I mean, why would I make that up? It's so weird. I think the deer might be smarter than the elk, but there's so many more elk. There's less deer than there are elk. I think there's a lot of poaching going on. Uh, we have all these southerners because the deer herd's like a quarter of what it used to be. I think they're poaching. It wouldn't surprise me. Why do you think Texas is a barren wasteland? A lot of Texans are moving up on that hill by the park entrance. At least when I was there, like 90% of the houses up there, it was it's what I call the Texas invasion. Like you can't go anywhere without encountering a Texas license plate anymore. It used to be really rare. You would see them, and they would only come during tourist season. They wouldn't stay all year round. Now it's all year round, and it's not like they're all bad, but they're not as great as they think they are. And anyway, maybe I'll just treat this handle again. Keep working on it instead of going out. It's just humid and it's supposed to snow tomorrow again. God damn it. I just want to fix the pipe and wash my clothes. I got anxiety in the store today because I could smell myself. I get to wash my clothes. I gotta patch my pants too. So what I do is I let my linseed oil dry out like this. It takes a long time, but it gets really thick, like a honey consistency. And then you just slowly rub it in, and it gets a nice deep glaze on it, and then you buff it out with it's already been sanded, so I don't. This is I think 220, 320, something like that. 240. It's a relatively fine grit. I forget what it is. It's so old. I've had this since Roberto Van. Yes, this is 240. So you use this other side, which is a cloth side, and you can buff the wood with it, and it gets a nice shine. And I've had that since 2009 when I was at Roberto Van. That's where I got that sandpaper from. Still use it. Still works. Isn't worn out. I've used it a lot. Did one of my guitar necks with it. Took a long, long time using that. So it's expensive sandpaper. And this handle's really, really nice. Right now, I am looking for a cruiser type axe head. A double bit that's about 2.5 pounds. Because I want to turn it into a throwing axe. I'm gonna get one of those Michigan styles that are flatter with a long downward sloping points, bits or whatever they call them. I don't know why they call them bits, but just call them blades because it's a fucking blade. It's a piece of metal that's really sharp. Anyway, little axe. All the guys on the axe forums make fun of me for calling it blades. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep calling them blades so you guys have something to laugh at. Anyway, but I'm gonna hang it upside down, and so I can use it as a throwing axe, because the angle of the handle versus that and sticking, I'll be able to get it to stick straight on or at like a large degree of stick dynamics. I don't know. And I love the smell of linseed oil. I mean, this is boiled linseed oil, but it's sort of the same thing. It's all flaxseed, right? It's gonna look really nice. I mean, it already is nice, but it needs a few more coats. And the thing about me, when I was at Roberto Venn, they said I made the nicest necks in the entire school. Rarely can anybody make a neck like I can, because of how much time I put into it and my sensitivity to lumps. It helps to be a guitar player too, but you also have the patience and need to really touch every little bit. This one came with a bunch of dents though. They're not all from me. I don't know. It's what it is. It's an awesome axe. I can deal with the dents and smooth them out with that buffing of that cloth. That look really, really pretty. And what else? Went over how to control elk. So yeah, just watch how the bulls control the cows, control their herds during move in. And though I haven't been seeing as many bulls lately, it's really weird. You always see one or two with them. That's why I think maybe there is poaching going on, because where the fuck are them? All of them. Trophy hunters are the shittiest people. They destroy species. Like, you want large trophies, don't kill the trophies. Save their genetics. Let them breed. And then you wait until they're old. You get better meat. It's going to be more tough, but what that's going to do is make your jaw strong. This is one thing why I don't like tender meat, is that's why I have such a strong and wide jaw, is because I would eat only select beef growing up, and I didn't want prime. Even if people offered it to me, I was like, do you have any select? Because I knew that it would give me a strong jaw. And because I was trained to become a fighter, it's like, if I'm going to get hit in the face, I understood the physics of it and the geometry of a punch and how your neck functions. Yeah, let's see if the light will catch how nice and shiny it looks compared to how it was. This is more matte still. It's still wet, but it'll dry overnight, and it'll buff it in the morning, and a few days I'll probably use another coat, And just lightly rub it in. And it takes a long time, but if you take pride in your work, you'll have something really nice if something's nice and worth making nice. And this is a nice, really good handle. I'm actually really impressed with it. That was one of the things that they were talking about with this brand when I was researching it, is that Council has really good wood. They use very, very good wood. I want to get a phantom bevel though. Or phantom taper, I don't remember what it's called. For the axe heads on that throwing axe, just because they're cool. It's hard to find though. an axe head under 3 pounds that is with a phantom bevel. You can find Council makes plenty of single bits, but that are that weight class, but finding a double bit is extremely rare, or at least difficult. That's especially affordable because I can't just spend $300 on an axe that weighs 2.5 pounds just because it's rare. And that's ridiculous. 300. Some of them go up that high if you can find them. The cruisers. And there's some good examples, but one I was looking at was a True Temper, under 3 pounds, but somebody over sharpened the angle of the bit, and so it was flatter there, right in the middle, and that would require a whole bunch of edging, and it would just ruin the length or the width. Of the. Ow. This fucker is sharp. I got this beast so sharp. You gotta be careful with that edge. It cut the shit out of my hand. Just from me buffing the thing. And almost got her. My ex is a girl. She's petite, but she's got a big brain. Almost done. I messed up here. How did I do that? The thing about doing this with it thicker, it does take longer to penetrate, but then it dries a lot quicker, and the more you do it, then the stronger the coating is. It takes on the appearance of old baseball bats. They're running out already? So I have to refill this. There we go. I got you, all of you. I'm talking to a handle. Looks good. Look how nice it's getting, that color. It's darkening it up lovely. Love linseed oil. My mother doesn't know anything about linseed oil. She thinks I'm gonna burn down the house. She's like, it lights on fire. I was so fed up with it, with her, her naivety, that I showed her by taking linseed oil and holding a flame to it. That it's what is it? It's a plasticization, but it's a endothermic reaction or something. I forget. There we go. It's what does it do? I don't know. I can't remember. Never been good with thermodynamics, but let's put some more in there. It's gonna look so good when it's finally done. I need about 5 more coats doing that. And it'll be really, really good. But As it plasticizes, it creates heat, right? And it's only when you bunch up a bunch of it that it creates enough heat to spontaneously combust. So if I just took some linseed oil, put a flame to it, I showed her it does not light on fire. And then I put a paper towel in it. I lit the dry part of the towel instant, right? Lit the wet part. I had to hold the flame there for a good like 30 seconds before it started to create the temperature for quick plasticization. Because I've learned from painting, fresh paints and fresh linseed oil can take a month or more to finally dry and cure. And if you use a lot, it just will stay wet forever. But if you take it and you put it over a radiator, it will dry out overnight if you're happy with your work. And I did that for years. Just every painting, just hanging it over the radiator, never lit on fire. Like I tested it. And act like just leaving linseed oil out is going to light on fire. Nope. I've been doing that for years too. Many, many years. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something special. Maybe it's the surface area and the thickness of it. But it just builds a film on top and it protects under it. Well, I guess I do live in a colder area too. Like it doesn't, dry it out volumetrically. But no, I mean, I'm doing that forever. Even if it did light on fire, like it's isolated. It's not gonna explode outwardly unless there's some liquid inside and the outside gets hot and then it compresses and bubbles it. Like, even if it did that, I doubt it would continue to burn. Because like I said, you can't light liquid linseed oil on fire with fire. So anyway, I love the smell of it. It's so good. The benefits of working with your hands. There are moments like that too. Once you're done, you can enjoy those little things. And what else? I think that's everything I want to talk about.